Hello everyone. Today I am going to be giving you a little bit of coverage regarding the 2018 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade taking place, of course, on Thursday, November 22nd, 2018. In this video, I will be talking about the Long Island Railroad Extra Thanksgiving service available for Wednesday, November 21st, 2018, as millions of Long Island Railroad riders are anticipated to take 12 extra trains to get to their destination the day before Thanksgiving. I will also give a preview of where the balloon inflation will take place at Central Park, along with the parade route, and of course the big weather situation during the parade, as gusty winds will have temperatures, even though it will be in the 20s, feel like the teens. I have an in-depth article from USA Today regarding this, and of course all the three links I have here I will put in the description below so you all can read it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the extra holiday service available for, believe it or not, Thanksgiving weekend. So let's read this. I will try to zoom in if I can. The problem is if you zoom in more enough, it'll not be able to show correctly, so I do apologize about that. So let's read this together. So, on the Long Island Railroad's website, they say the LIRR will provide extra early afternoon train service on Wednesday, November 21st, 2018 to help travelers get an easier start to the long holiday weekend. From Thursday through Sunday, the Long Island Railroad will offer off-peak trains and frequent train service to make it easier to travel around the region for shopping, dining, and entertainment. Highlights will include Thanksgiving Eve, Wednesday, November 21st. There will be a dozen extra eastbound early afternoon trains to provide customers racing home to start the Thanksgiving weekend. On Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, November 22nd, there will be 6 extra westbound trains available to get customers into Midtown Manhattan for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, plus 11 extra trains for those heading to Long Island following the festivities. And of course, going to Long Island would be going home to have Thanksgiving dinner or just getting home in general. Black Friday, November 23rd. And this is excellent news. The LIRR will operate on a regular weekday schedule with lower off-peak fares in effect all day. That's great news. So if you want to take the railroad between 6 to 10 a.m. and 4 to 8 p.m., those are normal on-peak hours, that's great. That means if I was in New York and I wanted to, let's say, use my disability fare, I could from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on a Friday. That's excellent. Because the Long Island Railroad's making sure the people can get to work and people can get to shopping, dining, entertainment on Friday night. And this is even more fantastic news. On Saturday and Sunday, and Sunday's going to be important, which I'll talk about in just a second, 24th and the 25th, LIRR will add extra service on those days too, the first of 6 consecutive weekends that the Long Island Railroad will bolster service to meet the holiday season demand. So that's excellent. So they're going to be doing it now 6 weekends in a row starting this weekend. And also that's a big benefit for the weekend of December 22nd and 23rd, because that's, of course, Christmas weekend. So that's very important to have that as well. I will want to say this to the Long Island Railroad. Hanukkah starting earlier this year. I know it's a little bit too much to ask, but is it possible that we could have extra eastbound trains the first night of Hanukkah? Because Hanukkah's coming in 2 weeks, so I just want to quickly mention that to the Long Island Railroad if they are aware of this. So, before I completely get off topic, in keeping with the holiday spirit, the LIRR will offer tickets at off-peak prices over the 4-day Thanksgiving holiday, starting, of course, on Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, November 22nd, until Sunday, November 25th. The railroad's family fare discount will also be in effect all 4 days. Children ages 5 to 11, limit of 4 per fare-paying adult, can ride one way each for $1. These tickets must be purchased before boarding the train. Children under 5 will ride for free. So we have the service highlights for the Thanksgiving weekend. Thanksgiving Eve, Wednesday, November 21st, eastbound, 12 extra trains departing Penn Station. So now I'm going to read you the 12 trains that will be available on Wednesday, November 21st for people trying to get out of New York City early, because keeping in mind, November 21st is a gridlock alert day in New York City. So this is very important to remember, of course. Following trains will include 2 on the Ronkonkoma branch, 1246 train from Penn, stopping at Woodside, Jamaica, Mineola, Hicksville, then making all local stops from Ronkonkoma. Same with the 1:49 p.m. train. So 2 extra Ronkonkoma branch trains at 12:46 and 1:49 p.m. on Wednesday, November 21st. On the Babylon branch, which I'm sorry, I love calling, I like saying it in that voice, but before we get off topic, 1222 train from Penn will make express, go all the way to Rockville Center Express, then we'll go local all the way to Babylon. 1232 train from Penn will go express to Limbrook, then local to Babylon. 3 p.m. train from Penn, which I would honestly, if I was in the city on Wednesday, this is the train I would take. I would just skip the 250, my usual 256 Long Beach. I would take this train. I like this train. 3 p.m. train from Penn, stopping at Jamaica. So that means no stopping at Woodside, Kew Gardens, Forest Hills. That's excellent. 331 train from Penn going express to Rockville Center, then local to Babylon. Now we're going to go to the other branches. Port Jefferson branch. 1208 train from Penn to Jamaica, Mineola, then local to Huntington. 1229 train from Penn to Forest Hills, Kew Gardens, Jamaica, New Hyde Park, then local to Huntington. 324 train from Penn to Jamaica, Mineola, Westbury, and Hicksville. So the 324 train will not be stopping at Cobb Place, which I think that's ridiculous. That's so stupid. Why aren't you having the train stop at Cobb Place? I'm sorry, but more people use Cobb Place Station in Hicksville. No offense. That's stupid on the railroad's part there. And then the next 3 are easy to read. We have the Port Washington branch, 340 train from Penn to Woodside, Flushing, Main Street, then all local stops to Great Neck. Far Rockaway branch, 348 train from Penn, express to local Manor, then all local stops to Far Rockaway. So, pretty much, I like this. They're having an, pretty much now, you don't have to transfer at Jamaica. So, if you want to wait it down in Manhattan, and you normally use the Far Rockaway branch, just take the 348 train. But I do want to warn you, there is going to be overcrowding. So I don't want to hear it from anybody that, oh, he said take this train, the Far Rockaway branch. Now, this is interesting. There's going to be a Montauk train on November 21st. 406 train from Penn stopping at West Hampton, Southampton, Bridgehampton, East Hampton, and Montauk. That's interesting. Now we're going to go to Thanksgiving. Do apologize about that. Make sure I got this correct. I went too fast because the cruiser on this thing really goes crazy. Alright. On the 22nd, LIRR will run on a weekday holiday schedule supplemented with 17 extra trains timed perfectly for those attending the Macys Thanksgiving Day Parade or, in general, visiting New York City. There will be 6 extra westbound trains in the morning and 11 extra eastbound trains in the afternoon. Cars will be added to select trains as the demand requires to accommodate holiday travelers. So, we have 6 extra trains to Penn, on Thanksgiving Day. We will have 2 Babylon trains making all stops to Rockville Center, then Jamaica, and then Penn Station, which will be the 638 and the 738 trains. Then the Ronkonkoma branch, we have 2 trains making all stops to Hicksville, then bypassing Mineola, then going to Jamaica, Woodside, and Penn Station, which, I'm sorry, the railroad really doesn't understand. I'm going to give a little bit of a rant here. Really, Long Island Railroad, you had to mess with Mineola. You had to say, sorry, we're not accommodating people with Mineola. Well, Mineola is the second busiest station in the Long Island Railroad network in Long Island. Why can't you accommodate those people at Mineola trying to get to the parade? Another dumb decision by the railroad. I had to say that. But anyhow, those 2 trains are at 6:10 and 7:10. And they're only going to have 1 extra train on the Port Jefferson branch. 6:01 train from Port Jefferson making all local stops to Huntington, then Jamaica, and then Penn Station. And then we have a Montauk branch train, 6:20 a.m. train from Sponek, making all stops to Babylon, then Jamaica, and then Penn Station. And finally, eastbound service. Between 11:29 a.m. and 1:36 p.m., 11 extra trains will depart from Penn Station to accommodate customers returning from the Macys Thanksgiving Day Parade. 4 of the extra trains will operate to Babylon. 4 will go to Ronkonkoma, and there will be 1 each to Sponek, Huntington, and Port Jefferson. So that's going to be good to accommodate that demand, of course. And Black Friday, LNOR trains will operate on a normal weekday schedule on the 23rd with off-peak fares in effect the entire day. And then lastly, for weekend service, the Long Island Railroad will add 4 morning westbound trains and 6 afternoon eastbound trains to its regular weekend schedule starting November 24th and the 25th, and for the weekends of December 1st, 2nd, December 8th, 9th, December 15th, 16th, December 22nd and 23rd, and December 29th and the 30th. And remember, this is for people enjoying the sights and sounds of New York City during the holiday season. The westbound trains for the morning will include the following, and please keeping in mind, this will be 4 trains, right? So I'm just making sure that this is the correct information. Okay, Long Beach branch, westbound, 8:54, 9:54, 10:54, and 11:54 a.m. trains from Long Beach will make all local stops to Jamaica. Then we'll go express to Penn Station. And I like this. This is excellent. I would definitely take advantage of this. Eastbound, 4:15, 5:15, 6:15, and 7:15 p.m. trains from New York Penn will stop at Jamaica. Again, this is why I love the Long Beach branch. I'm sorry to rub it into everybody, but I have a leeway of 4 extra trains those weekends if I wanted to go into New York City and get direct express service, because keeping in mind, the Q31 normally ends at, I think, 9 o'clock normally on weekends. So that would be one of the last few Q31s I can get in Jamaica on the weekend. Otherwise, I'd just be stuck taking the Q30, which thankfully on weekends, Q30 doesn't stop at Queensboro. So, still, that's good. They're actually accommodating people getting to the Q31 during the holiday season. That's excellent. That's excellent to see. The Babylon branch, eastbound, 1:13 a.m. train from Penn, stopping at Jamaica, Rockville Center, and all local stops to Babylon. And then look at this, another late night train, Port Jefferson Huntington branch, 2:44 a.m. train from Penn, stopping at Jamaica, New Hyde Park, and all local stops to Huntington. I do apologize about that, everyone. So that's going to wrap up that part. So now, we will take a look at the balloon inflation area. Inflation will begin on Wednesday, November 21st, 2018 at 1 p.m. and will end at 8 p.m. at 72nd Street and 81st Avenue between Central Park West and Columbus Avenue. So, of course, you have this area. And then this is where the balloon inflation will take place. That's excellent news. Interesting. There's going to be a carnival? Let's read this. PS 334 will hold its fall carnival starting at 4 p.m. on Wednesday the 21st across the street from the inflammation on Columbus Avenue between 76th and 72nd Streets. And a parent says there will be hot chocolate. So it is going to be cold, but the cold days on Thursday, which I'll get into in a sec. Alright, now in general, the parade will begin at 9 a.m. on Thursday, November 22nd at 9 a.m. at 77th Street, 72nd by accident, 77th and Central Park West, but people will line up on the building side of Central Park West well in advance, which will probably be about 2 hours. So let's go on with the route. Makes complete sense. I think this is from the year before, too. Goes down Central Park West, then we'll make a left on West 59th Street, and then it will go on 6th Avenue. And keeping in mind, 6th Avenue, I'll try to show it with my mouse, goes this way. So the parade's going to go in the opposite southbound direction on Avenue of the Americas. And this is interesting. The parade's actually going to be accessible from Rockefeller Plaza. So that's interesting. Which I know why, probably because NBC is the main broadcaster, so I figured that's why. But I would have honestly loved for it to go back to Times Square and go through Broadway, not Broadway, 7th Avenue. But I guess not. Guess not, huh? So there's obviously going to be parade street closures, sir. Make sure you have your Notify NYC app, of course. Yeah, and look at all these streets closed. It's going to be crazy. I think that wraps up for this part. I don't really have information on the balloons or anything, because that really doesn't matter at this point. As long as you get the necessary information, of course. So our last point will be the forecast for the Macys Thanksgiving Day Parade, which I've been keeping an eye on all day down here in Delmarva, and telling it back in New York. I mean, even though here in the peninsula it's going to be, I found out, might not even hit, barely will hit 32 on Thursday, but New York is just crazy. I'm going to get into this in just a second. Yes, the parade will still go on, even without balloons, because you still have the floats. Exactly, the parade must go on. Rain, shine, or snow. And we've had warm Thanksgivings in New York, so yeah, I'm trying to zoom in so you all can see this guy. I know how brutal it can be on a mobile phone, so I do apologize about that. Here we go. Temperatures in the low 20s during kickoff parade time with wind chills in single digits or teens, according to AccuWeather.com. Ryan Moore, a meteorologist, says there will be a level of cold that's more typical of mid-January. Oh, my bad. Whether that us meteorologists. That's the guy, okay. Records that have stood for 140 years could be shattered. Weather Underground also warned that the weather will be dangerous all across the Northeast and New England on Thursday. Jesse Farrell said, though it was decades before the first parade was held, the coldest Thanksgiving Day on record in New York City was back in 1871 with a low of 15 and a high of 22. The most recent cold New York Thanksgiving in general during a Thanksgiving Day parade was 21 degrees, set back in 1972. And of course, you're going to need your full winter attire with hats, gloves, scarves, and numerous layers. Hand and foot warmers may also be good items to bring along. So here's what we got right now. Howling winds will add to the misery and will be yet another weather problem for parade organizers, especially for the giant balloons. Based on New York City's guidelines, no giant character balloon will be operated when there are sustained wind conditions exceeded 23 miles an hour and wind gusts exceeding 34 miles an hour on the parade route. And unfortunately, I have to bring up something very quickly in the history of the Macys Thanksgiving Day Parade. And I even remember back as a kid, they made a big deal about it. Thanksgiving. If I look it up, it'll probably come up somewhere. I know there was an article about it. I just have to find it. Yeah, that's the one. A whole article about it on Babbel. Pull it up and just I want to talk about it because I remembered. Actually, I was young, but I still remember people told me about it a long time ago. So the issue will be, of course, how dangerous this could get. Sustained winds of 22 miles an hour and gusts of 33 are expected. The National Weather Service in Upton, New York said. So from the, let me confirm this. Yeah, AccuWeather. During kickoff at 9 a.m. on November 22nd, real feels will be in the single digits to teens with the wind going 15 to 30 miles an hour from the northwest. So, here's what we got. In the morning prior to the start of the event, Macys and the New York Police Department will make a final determination on the flight of the giant balloons based on the current weather data available from the parade route and a number of additional sources. Yes, here we go. The last time that the balloons have never been grounded was back all the way in 1971. And unfortunately, again, I have to talk about this. Another incident in 1997 as well. Winds drove a cat-in-the-hat balloon into a metal pole. The ensuing damage left the woman in a coma for almost a month before she recovered. In 2005, an M&M balloon was knocked over a street light that entered two sisters. After the 1997 accident, Macys worked with New York City and participated in a full review of the incident. The new wind guidelines were put into place after the review. Alright, here we go. The only time the parade was canceled was during World War II. There was no parade in 1942, 1943, and 1944. Yeah, so when you look at this, I mean, this is just remarkable. That we've had coldest low temperatures. Let's see. Yeah, 1972 was the most recent. And then 23 was back in 1996. So that's just brutal when you think about it. So let's see if this article about will come up. Here we go. Occurring on that day. Alright, so what happened was, if I can pull this up, I think this is from a Carolyn Castigla. Alright, the incident that took place was, Barney the Dinosaur at Broadway and West 51st Street. A stunning incident captured on video by somebody watching from one of the buildings above the street. And believe it or not, somebody, yeah, if you saw it on Google, there is video of it. So I will put a video link in the description below so you all can see it. And then, of course, the Cat in the Hat incident. And there were multiple ones a long time ago, but we're not really going to get into it. But somebody actually put a video of the Barney incident, Barney the Dinosaur, which, if you don't know who Barney the Dinosaur is, it's a purple dinosaur that I grew up watching, and even Matt Kampers grew up watching. So obviously, if he's watching, he knows what I'm talking about. So, uh, yeah, it was a sad, unfortunate event. Not just the Barney, but the Cat in the Hat balloon. Very quickly, I'll probably get more details about the balloons tomorrow, but I am actually looking forward to a float in the parade. There is a golden retriever float that me and my mom are actually looking forward to seeing during the coverage on Thursday. So that's going to be interesting to see. So with that in mind, that's going to wrap up your pre-Thanksgiving Day parade coverage here on Andy's Randomness. I hope you found this video very useful. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get service changes for the Queens subways for this weekend. I think I took care of the Long Island Railroad, so all that's left to do now is just the Queens subways, and I'll probably have the PowerPoint ready on Thursday night or Friday morning before I head back to New York. So that in mind, I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. Stay warm because, honestly, people going to the parade, all I'm going to say right now is dress up like it's winter because it's not going to be fun out there, but hopefully it'll be worth it, and you'll see the Broadway performances at Herald Square, which they normally start at around 9:10 in the morning because there are Broadway performers before the main parade comes at 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you do want to see the Broadway performances, make sure you get to Herald Square early because you're not going to be able to get a spot to see it. So with that in mind, thank you all for watching once again. Have a very happy Thanksgiving. If you are going to the parade, once again, stay warm, enjoy it. If you are going to balloon inflation, stay warm as well. And of course, time to be with family and friends. Hopefully, turkey will be good. And until the next one, please take care.